This is Lord Potato, and this is What If Naruto was the reincarnation of Asta, Jin-Woo, and Sam's. Now, let me do a recap because it's been 3 months since I last uploaded this. But yes, this is somewhat my 200 special, like, I should have finished it. Hey, okay. But yeah, okay, so let me do the recap. So, Naruto, who is also known as, what's called as Asta Jin-Woo the Skeleton, which, yes, that's the name I gave him. But, yes, that's how Naruto kind of just says himself. But, he has both, not both. He has all, like, the powers of Asta with Libby, and, the anti-magic. So he has the anti-demon magic and all that. He does have, Sam's abilities and also what's called Sanjin Woo's, system abilities and the Shadow Martyr. But yeah, so we go into a recap of, with Noel Sylvian also being in here, and his two other teammates, which is his sister, Mento Uzumaki, and Azui, I think I say Sui or Azui Uchiha. Now, since of course they go into the tuning exams, they had to deal with the what's called the first that's the test, then the what's called the Death Forest, and also then the what's called Rebellion rounds. Of course, Naruto went against what's it called Sasuke. Wait, no, not Sasuke. Izumi Uchiha went against her brother Sasuke. Noel went against Sasuke and beat the crap out of her easily. And of course, Mento Uzumaki went against her brother Menma Uzumaki, who has the 9 tails, and yeah. Well, they both have the 9 tails. Naruto has 0 of the 9 tails. So yeah. Of course, Naruto, he went against Kiba and whooped his ass so easily using Icarus. But yeah, after that, they went into the 1 month time skip. Now, let me talk about what happened in the 1 month. Now, of course, Root Almost were training Noel, Sylvian, and Izumi Uchiha, and also Mento Uzumaki. Naruto went to go do dungeons. More dungeon. But of course, Danzo, since he's actually the team leader of this group, also Hakin is in here. But yeah. Both, what's it called? Well, Danzo did get a meeting with the two other elders and talked about how Menma is reckless and almost could just let out the 9 tails and just rage. And he explains that Mento should be suited to have the other half. And of course the elders kind of think about it and they say, okay, what about Sasuke Uchiha? This is where Danzo says that Sasuke Uchiha is unstable. He has the curse mark from Orochimaru. And this is where, the two elders are kind of shocked. And then think about it and they say, fine. We'll kind of have to execute that Uchiha. So, Orochimaru can't have the Sharingan. And of course, Danzo says, I also decide to put anti-seals from the curse mark on Izumi Uchiha. Izumi Uchiha. This is where the elders nodded. And of course, they tell, okay, Danzo, we will think about this and we will probably execute both Menma Uzumaki and, Sasuke Uchiha. If Sasuke shows any, bad intentions in the near future, we'll execute him immediately. Same with Menma, but we'll take out the 9 tails to give it to Mento Uzumaki. Danzo nodded, and of course he left. Now, of course, he didn't do like a whole, public meeting. He only did it with the two elders. But with that happening, of course the two elders are thinking about it, and of course they're just thinking about putting the other half of the Nine Tails not into Mento but instead of to Naruto. Since they know about Naruto not being the Nine Tails. They never hated Naruto. Not many civilians hate Naruto exactly. They do hate Mema because Mema's super cocky and annoying. But yeah. Of course, this is where we go after the time skip. Now, this is now, well, the final exams. Naruto is going against, well, Neji. Actually, no, not Neji. Mento Uzumaki's going against Neji. So, when she's fighting against Neji, this is where Neji says, your destiny is to lose to me. And then Mento says, oh really? Then I'll show you my abilities. She uses her Keigenkai because she is Kushina's daughter. So she can use the chains. And she uses the chains to attack Neji. Neji was shocked. He never seen this Keigenkai or whatever the hell this is. So he's trying to like push him away with chakra in his like fingertips. Because yeah, the palm strike. And try to like push it away and all that. That's where Mento gets close enough to Neji and uppercut his ass. That's where Neji say, ah. Neji says, you. This is where he says, you. Was about to say the B word, but then he gets almost cut on the cheek by a chain. Because Mento is having, well, she already knew what he was about to say, and her hair is kind of going up, like Kushina's, and her eyes are crimson red. And this is where Neji kind of gets scared. That's where also he kind of interested in Mento. But he's scared and interested at the same time, and this is where, well, Mento says, I swear to God, if you finish that word, I will rip you apart, Neji. Of course, she said Neji Kun. I do not care. But yeah, you can think about it like that. This is where Neji kind of, he blushes a little bit, then he just gets scared. So, Mento has a eye on what's called Neji because she's interested in, well, prodigy kids. So yeah. Because she knows about her father thanks to Danzo. So yeah. Of course, about her mother and her father. So yeah. Of course, the secret for Menma to know about his father and mother is never going to be told because Danzo, he says, fuck that, I ain't telling shit. And Horuzen never tells because he doesn't want, well, he doesn't want what's it called, like the Stone Village or something finding out and trying to kill him. But yeah. This is where, well, she kind of gets interested in Neji because he's smart and kind of remind her of her father being a genius. So yeah. Of course, she didn't actually get the genius genetics from her father that much, but mostly from her mother. She got the genetics of fighting, ruthless half the time. So yeah, of course she also knows about sword kenjutsu. So yeah, she does have a sword on her, and it is red. So with that happening, she just well starts fighting against what's called Neji. Now Neji, he is scared. He does not want to get hit by one of the attacks from, well, Mento. Mento is having orange chakra around her. Not crimson chakra, but just orange chakra around her. Because of the QBs actually helping her. Now, she is kicking at Neji. Neji is trying to dodge because he can feel the power radiating off of that. Like, what's called? Whatever it's called. Just coming off of her legs or like punch or anything. So he's kind of scared. He's thinking of doing the about 64 palm strike, but when he does it, doesn't really do jack shit to Mento. That's where Neji says, rotation. He does rotation, and of course, is where Mento uses her chains and doesn't do anything. So she pulls out her sword and adds red, well, what's called red fire into her sword. Because she learned how to, well, put chakra, any element chakra, into her sword. Because she was trained by some root ambus. Now, of course, when she tries to, like, cut through the what's it called rotation. She's getting closer to just cutting the rotation. That's where Neji is horrified, and of course when Mento managed to cut through it, Neji's horrified, and that's where Neji says, "I won't let you defeat me," and Mento says, "Then I won't let you defeat me neither." Neji's she just said Neji. Okay, yeah, you get the point. And of course, Neji kind of blushes and says, "Wait, why do you keep saying that?" That's where Mento says, "Oh, don't worry." She almost has the sword right next to Neji, and Neji realizes, and shit. He was about to get his neck cut off until, Mento doesn't even do that. She accidentally trips. How? Well, there was a tiny, tiny rock from just the pebbles that were kind of just like, not pebbles, little tiny rocks that, was kind of being broken from the chains, the sword slice, and even the rotation. And even when Mento punched the ground, since our little crater is also on the ground, also from her kind of using the Ninetales power. She trips on a rock and falls onto Neji. Of course, this is where Neji is just confused, and Mento's also confused, and they are connected. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Now Naruto sees this and says, "What the fuck?" Noelle Sylveon is just like, "Huh? She probably likes him." This is where Izumi Uchiha says, "Go Mento!" Danzo says, "Interesting. Uzumaki Hyuga." Yeah, whatever. His dad, their love, whatever. I don't care that much. So, of course, this is where some of the root Ambus are kind of cheering. They're like cheering in their mind, but not like screaming out, waiting for Mento to beat Neji. But when they saw the connection, they're like, let's, So they're like, yeah, let's just annoy her when we have training session with her. That training sessions with her. So, yeah, this is where all of them are all naughty to each other. And of course, where Mento, she gets up so fast and is blushing like red. She is crimson red. This is where Neji is also kind of red. And of course, this is where Mento says, that's where Mema is just saying, that bitch has more power than I. And this is where, before he gets to say anything, this is where Naruto appears, smashes him in the fucking ground, and then disappears. Yeah, Naruto's so fast that no one even saw Naruto do anything. Except for Danzo. Danzo noticed that shit real fast. Like, he was like, damn, I see Naruto, you train, you gotten stronger. But, of course, we go into, Mento versus Neji. So, this is where Neji raises up his hand and says, I give up. And of course, I should also mention, since Mento was still someone in the Ninetales chakra cloak thing, it wasn't much of a chakra, it didn't have the bubbly chakra, just had the orange chakra on her. When they connected, that orange chakra kind of went into Neji, mostly into the seal of the cage bird, getting rid of it. Yeah. So, Neji gives up and just walks away. As our Mento is blushing and she was about to just say something until Naruto says, congratulations, sis. Now it's my turn. Now shoot. This is where the proctor says, yes. Naruto versus, I forgot who I actually put him up against. I'm going to just say Naruto versus Shino Abarame. So Shino's actually going against, Naruto. Naruto says, bring it on, Shino. Shino says, back at you, Naruto. Uzumaki. This is where Shino starts using his bugs to try to get Naruto. Every time the bugs get near Naruto, instead of like draining the chakra, they don't drain chakra, they die. The reason why they're dying is, they're not really draining chakra. They're draining anti-magic. Naruto has a sort of cover himself with anti-magic for a second. This is where Naruto pulls out a book and pulls out something from that book. A sword. Now, this is actually just a katana. Yes, I know there's no katana into the anti-magic book, but Naruto decides to try out something if he can put a sword that's just normal and clean and all that into the book to see if it can have anti-magic. Which is correct. He now has an anti-magic katana. Yes, it looks similar to that of Yami's when Yami gave what's called his sword towards what's called well, Asta, and yes, it does have anti-magic. So when Naruto just rushes at what's called, well, Shino tried to use his bugs to try to hit Naruto. Naruto cuts him down so easily, and Naruto's eyes are right now red. So he is kind of using demon mode for a little bit. His hair kind of goes a little bit black, and of course this is where Danzo's kind of impressed. Now, yes, I forgot to mention, yes, Naruto's hair is somewhat black, orange, and white. I think I mentioned that or not. But yeah. And Naruto's eye color is a kind of, it's kind of like a blue, white, and what's called green. So yeah. And also somewhat black. Because, Jin-Woo's eyes are kind of black. Or, I think so. I can't remember. But yeah, this is where Naruto is just charging at what's called Shino. And Shino realized that his bugs are getting cut down pretty easily. This is where before he even lets the what's called match continue, that's where Shino says, I give up. There's no way for me to actually go against Naruto. Naruto says, damn, he didn't get to show off that much. That's where Shino just says, well, good job, Naruto. And he leaves. Because Shino never hated Naruto. Because, Naruto and Shino are kind of good. They're okay with each other. Well, yeah. Now, next it is Tamari versus, Shikamaru. Shikamaru and Tamari, it goes the same. And Shikamaru still wins. But he says it's too much of a drag, so he gives up. So, yeah. Next it is, Gara versus Izumi Uchiha. When Gara's going down there, he kind of saw Izumi Uchiha. Now, Izumi Uchiha is wearing a somewhat, not bright blue shirt or anything. It's somewhat blue and black, kind of like a light blue color with black around, what's it called? It's like a long sleeve. And of course, she does have what's called black pants and light blue sandals. Which, she kind of likes light blue a little bit. And of course, her hair is right now kind of tied up, so it doesn't really mess up her hair or anything, or like her vision, because she does have the Sharingan. Or, it's not tied up, it's mostly just kind of just going down, okay? I don't know much about girls' hairs, okay? But not the point. This is where she says, I hope you do great, what's it called, Gara-kun. And Gara blushes for that because, Gara is, not really trying to hurt Izumi Uchiha. He's not thinking of really trying that much. He doesn't feel like it. But this is where we go into the booth. This is, the Kazekage is alive. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. And Orochimaru, no. Yeah, I'm gonna just say the Kazekage is alive. And Orochimaru is there. And of course, this is where, Orochimaru, he decides to kind of stay in what's called the shadows while what's called the Kazekage would be alive. Because he thought it fit like the Kazekage would be good. Because if he dies, then how was he going to use Golden Sand to crush, what's called Hiruzen. So yeah, he doesn't betray him just yet. So yeah, of course this is where the Kazekage is talking to, Hiruzen saying, yes, it's your son, isn't it? The Kazekage says, yeah, it seems he's going against the female Uchiha. This is where, Sasuke's angry because he was supposed to be down there, but his sister beat the crap out of him 6-1 on the damn Sunday. So, pretty much, rip him. So, this is where Izumi Uchiha, she says, let's do it, Gara. And Gara says, yeah. He kind of said it, having a little bit of emotions. Now Shikaku, he's just sitting there watching this just failure of seeing Gara kind of having emotions to the Uchiha and doesn't know how he feels about it. So he is just like, Gara, you gotta kill him. Gara says, no, fuck you, mother. And Shikaku says, okay, first of all, I'm not girl, but you gotta not kill him, kill her. You gotta kill her. And this is Gara says, no. Sir Shikaku says, this is gonna be so much of a headache. This is where Shikaku says, oh my days. God damn it, Gara. Gara says, I'm not gonna be hurting her. Now leave me the fuck alone. This is where the match begins, and of course, Izumi Uchiha rushes at Gara, and Gara just uses sand just around him so he doesn't get hurt, and Izumi doesn't get hurt by the sand. So, of course, when Izumi just punches at Gara, the sand blocks it, and of course, multiple sand attacks. She tries to kick or hit at what's it called? Well, Gara gets blocked by the sand, and of course, she uses, an attack called Lightning Sparks, which she makes like 6 lightning balls, and of course, just throw them around Gara, and then just say Lightning Spark Jutsu. So, of course, these lightning balls explodes into sparks. So, of course, when Gara is having his sand, the sparks hit the sand and doesn't do really much of anything because it has iron in it. And, it doesn't really do that much because her, her lightning is not that great. That was only somewhat of a C-rank jutsu. And, of course, Izumi says, I guess I didn't get that. Well, whatever. She rushes at what's called, Gara keep trying to break through the sand and all that. And Gara then just starts talking a little bit, saying, so what's your favorite color? While in the middle of the fight. This is where Izumi Uchiha says, light blue. Gara says, And this is where Izumi says, what's your favorite color? Since I can't really break through your sand that much. Gara says, red? Because he actually never figured out what his favorite color was exactly. So this is where Gara is kind of just having a chat with Izumi. And this is where, the Kazekage sees this and says, what the fuck is my son doing? Hold up. Wait a minute. Is he in love with the Uchiha? Hold up. What? This is where the Kazekage says, how the fuck is Shikaku supposed to come out? God. Well, the animation is going to take a while. This is where Orochimaru sees this and says, fuck. Well, let's plan B. Try to kill the Kazekage and then try to kill Hiruzen with my shit. But yeah, this is where, explosions started happening. So when explosions started happening where Gara tried to just keep speaking to Izumi, explosions started happening everywhere around the village. This is where Hiruzen says, what? And, the Kazekage started using his golden sand to attack Hiruzen. Danzo saw this and did tell his root Ambus to get prepared to fight. So, of course, this is where Naruto says, Danzo-tama, do you want me to kind of help out to call the civilians? Sir Danzo nods and says, help out the civilians. Also, Naruto, if Menma does go into the Nine Tails, or if, Sasuke uses that curse mark seal, you have to get rid of both of them. Those two are just dangerous, dangerous bombs. And Naruto nods, and of course, Orochimaru is running towards what's called to kill Hiruzen and all that. Danzo is actually gonna just stop what's called, Hiruzen. So, not Hiruzen, Orochimaru. So when Orochimaru is getting close to, getting to that building, this is where he gets almost cut by a wind attack. And this is where Orochimaru says, wind? The only wind user there is, Danzo. Danzo says, hello there, Orochimaru, old partner. And of course, Orochimaru says, hello, there, old fat. Let me say that again. He says, you old man. And this is where Danzo says, I might be old, but I'm not a fucking creep. who goes after little children like the Uchiha. That's where Orochimaru just get tech mark and says, "You fuck." That's where Danzo kind of chuckles a little bit, saying, "Nah, I see that actually triggers you. Then again, you must have went against a 13-year-old boy named Itachi, didn't you?" Then freaking Orochimaru gets another tech mark and says, "First of all, I didn't." Uh-huh. And Orochimaru says, "You really want to piss me off, don't you? Well, to stop you from trying to kill the Hokage, so yeah." This is where, what's it called? Hiruzen's right now fighting against what's it called, the Kazekage, using Golden Sand. And there's not really much of a barrier right there to kind of fight against him, since the Sound 4 is trying to get to, Orochimaru. Or trying to get to the plan and all that. But they are right now stopped by Root Ombus. And Root Ombus are more skilled than that of, normal Ombus. So, the Sound 4 are right now having trouble with the, what the hell does that sound Middle Western? Well, they are having trouble with the Root Ombus. But we go into Naruto. Naruto's right now cutting through what's called ninjas left and right. Both sound and sand ninjas. And of course, he sees Kabuto, and he kind of rushes at Kabuto. Now, Kabuto, what he wanted to do was, try to put a genjutsu on everyone. So, when he tries to do that, to try to calm the people down, so it'd be so much easier to kill them, Naruto appears, uses anti-magic to actually get rid of the genjutsu. And this is where Shibuya starts running around, blah, blah, blah. That's where, Kabuto says, "You bastard." Naruto says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong?" This is where Kabuto says, "You fuck." This is where he rushes using his scout force at what's called Naruto, and Naruto summons two Gaster Blasters. This is where Kabuto says, "What the boom?" He is blasted straight to hell. Yeah, he couldn't react fast enough with two Gaster Blasters appearing. Yeah, Naruto knows how to summon them out. And he couldn't even finish what the fuck sentence. So yeah, he is gone. The only thing that's left there was, the coat. All that was left there was just a coat and some hair. And maybe just some glass of his glasses. But, rub that. Now it's to Sylveon, Sylveon. She's using water jutsus to get rid of multiple of the sand shinobis and also of the sound shinobis. Easily killing them using her water jutsus. When she uses water jutsu like Water Dragon, Water Spice, and all that, that's where Haki uses her ice to, freeze the water to make it more deadlier and kill the sound and sand ninjas. Of course, both Haki and what's called Sylveon, Noel, are both working together. Now it's to Izumi Uchiha, who was actually almost attacked by what's called some sound and sand ninjas. Because she doesn't get it, the sand and sound ninjas, why they're attacking. But before they even get close to Izumi, Minto was about to jump in until she got attacked by also sound and sand ninjas. This is where Gara uses his sand to get around the the sound and sand ninjas and just crushes them, killing them. This is where Izumi Uchiha says, "But why?" Gara says, "Because you must be protected at all costs, because you're the last Uchiha." He's trying to make up excuses. And of course, Shikaku is having a little bit much trigger because he cannot control or manipulate Gara to let him out. Since Gara has motions and yeah. This is where, with Tamari and Kankuro seeing that Gara is protecting the Uchiha. The female Uchiha. And they don't want to piss off Gara, so they're gonna help Gara. So yeah, they're just helping out the Leaf Shinobis and all that. Because, if they try to attack what's called Gara and the girl, they're dead. So of course, with Shikamaru falling asleep, dispelling the genjutsu, the somewhat small genjutsu of sleeping, because there was also a sound ninja that was there. Just a small genjutsu, and then go for real sleep, because Legends goes to sleep after dispelling the sleep genjutsu. But not the point. This is where Tamara just kicked him and said, She says, "Hurry up, you freaking leaf ninja! Aren't you supposed to be fighting? You're a leaf ninja for goddamn crying out loud." And this is where Shikamaru says, "Why the fuck you helping? Aren't you a sound ninja? Not a sound ninja, a sand ninja?" This is where Tamari says, well, yes, but I see that this is bad enough and all that. God, I fucking hate food going back up. God, blah. But not the point. Blah. Fuck, I can never say right words for some reason. So, we go into, well, Tamari and Shikamaru kind of bickering, and of course, well, Kankuro right now killing through, well, his own comrades like the sand and sound ninjas. This is where Baki kind of asks why you're attacking them, and Kankuro says, well, we're not trying to get in Gara's side, bad side, so we're just gonna be helping them out because we're not trying to be murdered. This is where Baki noticed the Uchiha and Gara just having sand around her, trying to just protect her every time. And if Gara tries to get stabbed, he uses his own sand to crush that person. Here's where Baki says, "Huh. Do I listen to Kazekage-sama or do I listen to what's it called, Gara, who's actually most likely to kill me? Okay, you want to kill, so I'm actually going to be helping the other side." So yeah, Baki's right now fighting against a sound and sand ninjas because, well, then again, he already knew how crazy this goddamn plan was to try to invade the leaf ninjas. So yeah. Now we go into what's it called, Mento. Mento was about to get attacked by the sound and sand ninjas until, well, what's it called? She was kind of near what's it called, somewhere in the bottom, kind of going to go check up on Neji, but she didn't notice about the commotion or anything until Sand and Sanders tried to attack her. That's where Neji breaks through the door and uses his Byakugan that, well, is actually awoken. His Byakugan now awoken to assistant levels. His, well, Byakugan actually evolved. When the QB chakra actually, flooded his chakra, his eyes actually changed. They kind of awoken to another color. They are now a crimson color. They are like an orange crimson color and all that. And of course, when he uses what's called the tanks, what's called 64 tanks to shoot. Blah. Fuck sakes! Why can I not talk? When he uses 64 palm strike to shut down the tanks, well, it hits the what's called ninjas, but it also burns them. Yes, his fist goes into fire. So yeah, of course, this is where Mento says, "Thank you, Neji-kun," and of course, Neji says, "Are you okay, Mento-chan?" Now, of course, she blushes and says, "Yeah, I'm fine." And of course, well, Neji says, "What is happening?" Mento says, "I have no clue." So, of course, they are now going to fight against what's called evasion. So, yeah. So, with that happening, we go into, well, Naruto. Naruto is right now going through the sound and sand ninjas, cutting them down with his anti-sword magic. Yeah, his anti-sword. And, of course, well, his dagger. So, not dagger, what's called a sword made out of bones. Yes, he's just cutting through them down easily. So, when he gets to what's called, well, near some ninjas that were kind of around Sasuke, and even Menma, and what's called Kakashi's right now fighting against the sound and sand ninjas, some like Jonins. This is where, well, Sasuke does use the curse mark and starts fighting against him. Of course, Sasuke gets killed in the crossfire because, of course, well, Menma sees the crossfire by what's called Sasuke actually stabbing Sasuke so he can actually awaken his Monokyon. Well, not Monokyon, his Three Tomoe Sharingan, but yeah. This is where Menma gets angry and goes into a rage state, and of course, actually goes into a three-tails rage state. So yeah. This is where, well, of course, Kurama sees this and cannot really do anything. Because right now, well, Menma's taking his chakra and it's getting annoyed. But yeah, right now, Sasuke and Menma are right now fighting each other because, well, Sasuke killed Sasuke for power. And he did get power to kill the Sound and Sand Ninjas. But Menma's now enraged because, well, he liked what's called Sasuke because he was a simp. Like what's called Naruto and Rajun Canon. Of course, this is where they're fighting, and of course, Naruto remembers the words that what's called Danzo said. If, well, what's called Sasuke and Menma are right now in their rage states or whatever. If Sasuke's using Curse Mark and Menma's somewhat using the Naruto for destruction, stop them at all costs. This is where Naruto says, fine, I gotta stop them. So, when he uses what they call his anti-magic sword to cut at Menma, one of his tails, actually getting rid of that tail. What's it called? Just getting rid of the chakra to build that tail. So right now, Menma is now to 2 tails. And he actually gets out of the what's called burning skin, whatever it's called. The crimson, kind of. The crimson color, okay? He's now in his bubbly chakra form. Sir, Menma says, what? Then Menma gets punched in the fucking, cheek. So yeah, right in the cheek. In the cheekbone. But yeah, he gets knocked into a couple of fucking, well, a couple walls. This is where Sasuke starts trying to fight against Naruto, and Naruto says, be gone, you fuck. You Uchiha, fuck. Boom! Yeah, he gets blasted by 2 gas blasters. Now, this is where Menma comes back and tries to claw at Naruto. Naruto says, arise, Icarus. And Icarus appears and they just fight against, well, Menma. And of course, Naruto's right now fighting against what's called Sasuke, using, well, some, what's called bones to stab at what's called Sasuke. And Sasuke's actually pinned down. He cannot use the curse mark right now because he's pinned down. And Naruto does stab him with the anti-magic to try to get rid of what's called the curse mark or just numb it down. Which he managed to do. So we go into what's called, what's it called? Menma. Menma has been taken down by Icarus because Icarus is right now in his purple, what's called? The purple and black. Not the blue and black because yes, Naruto's able to use the full Shadow Monarch power. Well, not the full Shadow Monarch power, but only like 75%. So, this is where Naruto's easily taking out so many Sound and Sand Ninjas. Of course, he put what's called Menma and Sasuke into a room of what's called the Root Ombu's what's called building. Not the Root Ombu's building. Mostly a building that's meant for prisoners of like sort of war or did crime and all that. So yeah, he put them both there. But yeah, he told 2 shadow soldiers to kind of put them there. Now he hears like kind of battle happening, like destruction and all that. And of course Naruto arrives more like of his shadow soldiers to try to what's called get them to, well, go get more civilians out of the way. And yeah, but Naruto's going straight for the commotion. He sees what's called Danzo fighting against what's called, well, Orochimaru was almost getting that hand on what's called Danzo. That's where the Sound 4 appeared and was about to go into what's called to fight against Danzo until Naruto appears and took out, well, 2 of them. He kicked the big guy, I don't remember his freaking name, the big guy out of the way. This is where, well, the guy with what's called the 2 heads says, what the? It gets kicked also. This is where Kimaru, or was it Kimaru or Kimamaru? I forgot which one. But, of course, this is where he tries to shoot what's called, like, a string attack at Naruto. And Naruto uses a gas blaster, just blasts his ass away, and Taiyo say, fuck. Like, she cusses because, yeah, in Naruto Can, she does cuss a lot. She's like, fucking hell, how the fuck did you all get knocked out? This person is just a good-looking person. Because she kind of blushes and stutters like that. And then she says, I give up. That's where Naruto says, what? She says, yeah, I give up. That's where Naruto says, whatever. Just sit there and don't cause trouble. This is where Naruto's running towards the car Orochimaru. And this is where Orochimaru says, "Ah, old man, you are still strong enough. You're still using the wood style like that. Because yes, since what's it called, Naruto does have what's called Senju and also the Uchiha, what's called Sharingan and in his arm and all that. Right now, Orochimaru's trying to cut that arm away and all that. But Naruto appears and says, "Sup, you fucking pedo snake." This is where, well, Orochimaru didn't realize Naruto was right now on top of him. And Naruto summons, what's it called, 4 Gaster Blasters and just blasts Orochimaru down to the ground. Boom! Yeah. This is where Orochimaru says, "You bastard." That's where Danzo says, "Naruto, why are you here? Did you stop both, what's it called, Sasuke and Menma?" Naruto says, "Yeah, I put them in prison. Make sure the Snake Man doesn't get there close enough. And besides, killing him means that the curse mark will be gone, right?" This is where Danzo says, "I don't know for sure, but probably." This where Orochimaru says, "You think you can kill me? You don't understand yet if you can kill me or not." That's where Naruto says, "That is the truth, but I can try." This is where he says, "Yeah, you can try for sure." Naruto, he uses an attack that, well, it was from the Shadow Monarch. And since the Shadow Monarch is considered death, he kind of put his hands into like a purple like aura kind of color and all that. And of course, Orochimaru saw this, and he was wondering, what the hell is this? That's where, well, he gets hit by the attack, thinking it won't do that much because he can always just regen and all that, because he's kind of cocky about it. Naruto says, Ripper. Soul Repairer and Ripper. And this is where Orochimaru is horrified from those words. And of course, his soul is right now being repaired by all the what's called curse marks are getting rid of these souls. They're coming back to what's called Orochimaru, since they all had like soul fragments. And of course, this is what Orochimaru says, "No, it can't be a full-on soul." So Naruto has like this just ball of Orochimaru's soul. Naruto pulls it out, and Naruto breaks it right in front of Orochimaru's eyes. Orochimaru, his eyes goes into blank and dies. That's where Danzo says, "That's a very powerful move if you think about it, Naruto." Naruto says, "Yeah, it is." But yeah. This is where they're going, well, what's it called? The Sound 4 all pass out, even Taiuya. But yeah. This is where, well, we go into the fight with Hiruzen and, well, the Kazekage. Hiruzen's right now losing to the Kazekage because, you know, he's old. And the Kazekage has gold and sand and all that. So with that happening, this is where, well, they see the kind of fight. And of course, Naruto appears. And of course, he goes into his demon form. Demon form, and one of his eyes goes blue. Now, he's not using the Shadow Monarch, but instead of Asta's powers, and also, what's it called? Sam's powers? Levy says, "Are we seriously going Union form right now?" "Yeah, right now." So, of course, he tries to go Union form, and he can only do it for 5 minutes, just like in how Asta has it for. But Naruto says, "Hello, bitch." This is where, well, the Kazekage named Rasuna says, "What the fuck?" He gets cut, and he says, "What the?" When he tries to use his golden sand, he can't use his chakra. He's like, "What the hell did you do?" Naruto says, "Damn, I cannot control Union form." Levy says, "Of course not, you idiot." This is where Naruto says, "Okay, Levy, you don't need to be a fucking asshole about it." This is where Rasuna says, "What did you do to me, you little brat?" And this is where, well, he says, Naruto says, "First of all, never call me a little brat." And this is where he says, "It's a beautiful day out here. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. On days like these, people like you should be burning in hell. Do you want to have a bad time?" And of course, this is where Rasuna says, "What do you mean?" 40 Gaster Blasters appeared. Naruto made sure to make 40 Gaster Blasters. And Rasuna says, "What the boom?" You just see this giant, like, ring of, like, what's it called? You just see this giant ring of, like, white bones and also just beams coming out of their mouth, and just looks like a ring with an explosion in the middle. Yeah, Rosana is fucking gone. He is gone. I mean, he is long gone. His heart Danzo says, "So, how are you, old partner?" That's where Harusen says, "What the fuck? I knew it. That kid was always a demon." That's where Danzo says, "I had enough of your shit, Harusen. You're too old for this." This is why I did also mention about this one thing. If you would have died in what's called, well, in this fight, you would have not became Hokage. I would have. That's where Harusen says, "You can't do that, Danzo." That's where Danzo says, "No, I can't." Naruto, he actually did take the Kusanagi blade from what's it called, Orochimaru's dead body, and he stabs Harusen in the freaking heart. Because Naruto never liked Harusen. And Harusen goes, "You traitor." Danzo says, "I'm not the one to stab you. It was Orochimaru." Sir, Harusen sees the last thing, and it wasn't Orochimaru, but instead Naruto. So yeah, Harusen is stabbed with the Kusanagi blade in his heart, knowing that, well, it's Orochimaru that did it, but yeah. So we go into what's called a time skip after the somewhat sound and sand invasion kind of being a failure. Gara had to go back to the Sand Village to become the Kazekage, and he did tell what's it called, Izumi Uchiya, if she would like to come along. Izumi Uchiha says, "I'm part of the Leaf Village, Gara, but I'll visit." And of course, Gara kind of glow up and be happy, and walked away, being happy. This is where Tamari and Conqueror are following him, and Baki's also doing the same. This is where Mento and, well, Neji doesn't know anything about his feelings and all that because he had them sealed away. Well, not sealed away, just not use them or anything. But he doesn't know how to feel about Mento. But yeah. We go into a time skip. This is where the two elders notice that, well, Harusen died because of the Kusanagi blade from Orochimaru and doesn't know about Orochimaru being dead. So they just say that Orochimaru killed Harusen. Everyone had a crying time moment and all that for about a couple of days, and of course as well, those are where the elder says for trying to find what's it called, the Hokage. We would say Tsunade, but well, Danzo, you will become the Hokage. We don't have that much of a choice to elect someone else. This is where Kakashi says, "What about called Jiraiya?" Jiraiya would not like to become Hokage. He is too much in his research, if we know what that means. That's where Kakashi says, he says, "Then I reject the vote for making Danzo the Hokage." Multiple civilians say, "We vote for Danzo to become the Hokage." Some of the clan members did vote also. Of course, the Hyuga disrespect that and didn't want that because, well, he noticed that Neji's was caught. Cage Bird was gone, and if he let Danzo it, Danzo would get rid of all the Cage Birds and make sure the side and main bench will be together. Yeah. Now we go into, well, a time skip. Danzo's now the Hokage, and Danzo did straight up just execute what's called, well, Sasuke Uchiha and, well, Menma Uchiha. Sasuke for the reason why he had trusted Orochimaru. He just didn't want him alive and all that because he had bad feelings about him and all that. So execute him in public. Executed Menma for being the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, but also extracted the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki before executing him. And of course, the Nine-Tails was still into Mento, and the Mento did take a few days to recover about it. So yeah, that's where Mento has the full Nine-Tails, and Kurama is saying, "Sup, other half. I guess we're together." The Yin Kurama says, "Yeah, I guess so." This is where we go into Menma getting executed and people saying, "Boo! You're the Nine-Tails. You were the true Nine-Tails. You manipulated the Hokage just because you didn't like being blah blah blah." That's where Mama says, I was never denying to. You're all just a bunch of weaklings. And then he gets executed before even saying anything. Naruto was the one to execute him. He had his black sword and just ching, cut his ass really easily. This is where, well, Kakashi was the leader, so he is a demon lover, so they cut his head off so easily. So yeah. This is where, well, Jiraiya comes and sees that, well, the only family member he has left is Mento. He tries to get along with Mento, but Mento ignores him. And, well, Mento thinks that Jiraiya is kind of creepy. So, Danzo says, what are you trying to do, Jiraiya? Jiraiya says, wait, you became the Hokage? I was about to go get Tsunade. Danzo says, Tsunade would probably not want to be anything around with being Hokage. So, I will become Hokage until maybe temporary. I don't know what you want. And I'll probably become the 6th Hokage if you want me to be. Or not 6th Hokage, 5th Hokage. This where, well, Jiraiya says, oh, whatever. Now, of course, with Danzo becoming the new Hokage, he also established the Root Anbus to be back online. But since he's the Hokage, he did kind of put someone to be somewhat overseeker to be in what's called the Root Anbus. That would be kind of Naruto. The reason why he kind of put Naruto is because Naruto was kind of very loyal to him. And Naruto is not afraid to kill anything or anything like that. So yeah. Of course, we go into, well, a kind of 3-year time skip. The reason why is because Naruto is not going to be training with what's called Jiraiya, even though Jiraiya kind of assists, because he knew that Naruto is also the son of, well, Minato, and he just rejected that shit. Minato also did the same, and yeah. So, we go into a 3-year time skip. Now, Naruto, not 3-year, 4-year time skip. Now, Naruto is 17 and everyone else is 17. Of course, Naruto, he has, like, black clothes. Of course, his, like, what's called jackets are somewhat black and purple. Well, I mean, his jacket's black. His shirt is purple. It's like a dark purple and all that. Also, he has what's called black and white kind of, like, pants. And, well, he does have a what's called headband and all that. The headband of the Leaf Village and all that is black and does have a bull sign and all that. A bull sign. And also does have the leaf symbol and all that. He does have black and, well, just black sandals. And of course, well, he does have a Jonin vest. Somewhat, not really a Jonin vest. He just has a mask. And he's just considered to be a Root Anbu captain. Now, Noelle also was considered to be also a Root Anbu captain also. So she has a squad also about that. So, her name is actually called the Water Destroyer User. Actually, I don't have names for these, but yeah, I'll probably think about it later. Now, Hawking did become a, what's called a, what's it called, Root Anbu captain also. And, well, Izumi and Mento actually just wanted to become Jonins, so they became Jonins. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's what happened. Also, Neji did become a Jonin, also Shikamaru and everyone else. Because, yeah, Danzo can see how, well, some of them are talented, but yeah. Now, some of them didn't actually become Jonin instead of Chunin. Like Choji, Kiba, Hinata. He also did get rid of the whole cage bird seal and all that. And yeah, he abolished that, whatever. This is where the main branch, what they call Hyugas, didn't want that. Until Root Anbus appeared and killed all the main branch Hyugas. And well, Hayashi didn't have any complaints for that. He always wanted to abolish the, what's called main branch bullshit thing or whatever. But yeah. So that happened. Now we go into Naruto being 17 and being a Root Anbu captain. The Akatsuki are still going to be able to attack another. Or are going to attack. But I'm going to leave it until, well, part 4. So, I'm also going to be doing part 2 of What If Naruto Was the Son of Orochimaru. Because I remember saying that, then I didn't do a part 2. So, I might do a part 2, or I might go to sleep because my leg still fucking hurts like hell. But, yeah. Have a nice potato day. Potato night. Potato, potato, potato. And potato. Potato.